This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm with your host, Tom. Tim, I caught you off guard there. Jesus, you look startled.
I didn't start my timer, and I'm Tim.
Yeah, well, you always say that you don't want to do this show 1 second longer than is absolutely necessary.
I panicked, Tom. I wasn't expecting you to be on your game. Usually you go like, okay, you ready to start? And then it's like 3 minutes while you look through your phone and then realize that you're the one who starts the show every week.
Yeah, that often happens.
Yeah. It's the last show of 2021, Tom.
It is. This is the big, it's awards season. We'll get into the awards later, but it's why we're both wearing tuxedos tonight.
I'm always wearing a tuxedo, but it's why you're wearing a tuxedo.
That's why I'm wearing a sequin tuxedo. Normally, I just
see-through tuxedo, a sheer tuxedo.
Tim, I thought you were completely nude, but I am now seeing. Now it's starting to stick to your body.
It's getting sweaty over here.
Yeah, I can't imagine that breathes very well. It looks like.
It doesn't.
What is
sopping wet mess over here, Tom.
It looks like that's made out of like the same kind of plastic you would get like couch covers made out of. That just like very thick, like vinyl.
Yeah, if you put your head under it for 5 seconds, you'd suffocate.
You sound like somebody who's done that at like a grandma's house.
It's just not breathable. No, you know what? My grandparents never did that.
Yeah,
I thought that was a stereotype. The plastic over the couch.
It's one of those stereotypes that's true, though. I mean, my grandparents.
Oh, tell us more about stereotypes that are actually true, Tom. This is usually off mic talk from you, but
look, Tim, there's a reason why a lot of stereotypes are stereotypes. No, my grandparents didn't have that either, but that doesn't mean all grandparents didn't. I feel like
you're always saying hashtag not all grandparents.
I feel like that's something that when I would be like trick or treating as a kid, and you go to a house where they give you a thing of pennies. If you look in the house, you could see they've also got not styrofoam, plastic over the couches.
Right. I don't know. Never happened to me. I never got pennies on
I remember
Halloween either.
There were a few like old people houses where I think they just weren't aware of inflation, and they thought like giving kids 10 pennies was like, they'll be able to buy some penny farthing with these.
Or maybe they were surviving on Social Security checks and didn't need to be giving out cash to neighborhood kids.
Well,
or going out and buying candy.
It doesn't matter now because I'm sure they're long dead.
Also, they are, of course, long dead. But also, why were we going to those houses where we knew that there were old people and be like, oh, they give us crappy candy?
I feel
like pennies.
I didn't know until the door opened, and then I would
you just went like. Everybody went trick or treat. You just went, god damn it.
Shit. This lady's going to screw us. She's just going to give us pennies.
Come on, guys. Don't bother.
I mean, although I guess I would take pennies over, some of these old people candies that they give you that would just like, rip all your fillings out.
Yeah. Well, as a kid, I didn't really have any fillings. Yeah, although I will say, Tom, Werther's Original gets a bad rap. That's a good candy.
I agree, but I think it's probably like
just because that little moon-faced kid in that one commercial in the 80s got it from his grandpa. Everybody's like, oh, it's old people food.
I always thought...
It is old people food, but it's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy if you think about it. So anybody that doesn't, I mean, I feel like they ran those commercials for like 3 weeks. Those Werther's. What is Werther's? It's like a caramel, like hard candy, like a suck candy.
Yeah. Don't call it a suck candy.
Well, you suck on it. Don't bite it. You can bite it once you've sucked on it for a
like
bit.
the owl in the Tootsie Pop commercial.
Yeah. But aren't you wondering, like, what were the economics behind Werther's being able to air commercials?
I think Werther's was probably owned by a larger candy company, right?
Yeah, but still. So,
Also, it was the 80s, Tom. Commercial time, airtime was cheap. It was plentiful.
I think it was more expensive because people actually watch TV.
I don't know, Tom. I went down a rabbit hole. You know, you can like buy a commercial on MTV these days for like $35.
I mean, that makes sense, but nobody's actually going to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should try it though for this show.
Did you see this thing where
I think fans of ridiculousness would enjoy our podcast, Tom.
Ridley Scott was like all upset because nobody saw The Last Duel, and he like blamed Gen Z
for not wanting to see a boring looking movie.
Yeah, but he was just like, everybody's just, they want to be on their phones instead of watch movies. And it's weird because, you know, he also put out that House of Gucci movie. And I was like, oh, I'm sure that movie is going to do well. It's got Lady Gaga and Adam Driver in it. Jared Leto, who you might remember as the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was saying all that criticism, and he was like, and I know it's not the marketing, because the marketing was great. I was like, this is a movie I wanted to see. I had no idea it already came out. I had not seen a single ad anywhere. Like, I had learned about it and thought, like I saw a trailer for it on YouTube or something because somebody like tweeted it. And I thought like, oh, cool. Well, I'll have to see this when it comes out next year. And it was like already out.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think we have firmly become unreachable, right?
Yeah.
With marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Unless somebody buys an ad on one of your conspiracy theory YouTube channels or whatever.
Oh, I thought you were going to say unless
Or
somebody buys
Joe
an ad
Rogan.
on our show. Then
or
they'll
on Joe
get me.
Rogan, Tom, you'll hear you. What did I say? Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Rogan. I got tongue-tied. But like I don't know when anything comes out. Like I used to see commercials for things. I don't see commercials for anything. Actually, whenever I do see commercials, it's when I'm watching HGTV, and all that is for like drugs. It's all just like ask your doctor about this stuff, and it doesn't ever tell you what it treats
actually
or anything.
Yeah, and it's like you should already know what it is and just ask
like,
your doctor.
Is Prevagen good for you? It's like I don't know. What is it?
What does it treat?
What does it treat? Yeah.
Maybe it just gets you high. Maybe it's like a wink, wink. Like, yeah, this will help with your cholesterol.
Yeah. So I agree with Ridley Scott too, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I think young people just want to look at their phones. I'm not that young, and I can't watch a movie without picking up my goddamn phone in the middle of it.
Oh, really? I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good actually. Like once a movie starts, I won't look at my phone.
Are you talking about in the theater? Or are you talking about at home?
At home too.
It's in the theater. Come on.
But so like that sounds like I'm bragging. Like, oh, I'm pretty good. But the flip side of that is I often won't start a movie because I'm like, well, then I won't be able to look at my phone.
I definitely like plan my evening around like, will I be able to dick around on my phone doing this? No? Okay, then not tonight.
I was going to start watching the new Matrix movie yesterday because it came out on HBO Max. And then literally I was like, oh, if I start watching it now, I'll be able to watch it. It was like 10 o'clock. So it's like, all right, the movie's probably like 2 hours long. I'll be able to go to bed at midnight. That's about when I go to bed. That's fine. But I was like, no, I need like a solid half hour on each side of that to just dick around.
That's ridiculous. Even like 2009, we weren't doing that, Tom.
No. 2009, Tim, we were out getting blackout drunk at bars every night. Just pissing away hundreds of dollars a week.
Yeah. And our health.
Oh, and yeah, permanently irreparable damage to our health.
I think it was worth it. Tom, it's the end of 2021.
Yes.
This show is our year-end spectacular. Did you know that we did a 2021 predictions episode at the end of last year?
Oh, that makes sense that we did. Do you know what we predicted?
I know what I predicted. I found my notes.
Okay. What did you predict? Let me see if I can find my notes while you're talking.
Yeah. Well, then you're not going to listen to me, Tom.
Oh, no, I found them already. Here we go.
Okay. So let's see if we'll go one for one. My first one was the Grinch is going to come back in a big way around Christmas.
Oh, is that why you wanted to do an episode about the Grinch so badly? Did you have some money on this?
Zeitgeist, Tom, that we did an episode. It bubbled up to the TCGTE level. So I think that was a pretty good prediction. What did you have?
I had that panty raids will come back. I don't know if I had that. I just have in my notes panty raids.
No, that was your to-do list. You got this to do for 2021, and you did do quite a bit of those, Tom. My wife is furious.
Oh, I thought nobody knew.
Let's see.
I had under celebrity...
Fourth wave ska, I said.
Oh, fourth wave.
I think ska had a moment.
Yeah, ska I would say is a little bigger this year than it was last year.
Yeah. All right.
I had a public UFO crash. That didn't happen.
Not yet. We still got a few days, Tom.
That's true.
I said people will immediately lose whatever perspective they gained in 2020. Remember at the end of the 2020 when everybody was like, oh, or in 2020, they were like, oh, we're just going to change the way we live our lives forever.
Yeah, we're going to continue clapping for healthcare workers.
Yes.
Certainly what we're not going to do is start screaming at them that they're part of the conspiracy.
We're not going to start threatening them and their families.
I had movie theaters are going to do weird things, which I don't think has actually happened.
No.
Aside from stay open, like not completely crater as an industry.
That's good. I said everyone's going to take everything too far. I don't know what I meant by that. I think that kind of happened a little bit, right?
Yeah, you could make that prediction for next year too.
All right, I think we did pretty well. I did pretty well. I think I had a better hit rate than you did.
Yeah, well, you had more vague predictions. I said Mark Zuckerberg's going to get ripped. I said Trump was going to go to North Korea.
I said Civil War.
I also thought telephone booth stuffing would come back, but COVID. I thought COVID was in the rear view mirror by then. I still say once COVID's finally taken care of for good, telephone booth stuffing. They're going to have to
stuff me in a telephone booth with 25 other teens. It was teenagers that were doing that, right?
I would hope so. You know what though? It wasn't.
Oh, nowadays it would be people our age, hey, we're still young. I'm on TikTok. I'll do the shove myself in a telephone booth challenge.
Although I feel like I also have in here that flagpole sitting would come back, and that I feel like that wasn't a young man's game. That was all I feel like that was older people that did flagpole sitting.
I don't know. I think the last time we saw pictures of people flagpole sitting, we were young, and so a 25-year-old looked ancient to us.
Oh, they probably weren't even 25. They were probably 17, but it was this 17-year-old who has 5 children. has decided to forego it and sent his children to the factory for the week so he can flagpole sit. Tom,
this was just a way to tease our predictions for 2022.
Yeah,
coming up later in the show. Tom, we got a lot planned today.
We sure do, Tim.
It was a wild year.
It was.
You're going to hear a lot about it in just a minute. I do want to say, Tom, I was going to start teasing a very special message from guest host of The Complete Guide to Everything, Christine, who graciously filled in for me while I was gone.
Yeah.
And then talked a lot of shit about me behind my back to you. But I decided to bury the hatchet and give her an opportunity. Give her the opportunity.
That you were tired with having a newborn son, and that you predictably were thought like, oh, everybody else makes up being tired. No.
She told you I told her the same story 5 times.
Yeah. Well, that's Tim. Anyone listening to the podcast could say the same thing about you.
Anyway, we're supposed to have a nice message for her. She flaked. She said, yeah, I'll get you a nice message for all your listeners. Good tidings for the new year. Yeah. Thanking them for bringing me into into their homes week after week. I said, that's great. We'll put it on. We'll feature it. And what did she do? She just doesn't care about these listeners. She just flaked. She didn't send it.
Why are you on a smear campaign against Christine?
I didn't tell her the same story 5 times.
I'm sure you did. You probably don't even remember telling her the same story 1 time. Why'd she flake?
I don't know. She doesn't care about the listeners like I do.
All right. Sure, that makes sense. Is that what she said? She said, I just don't care about the listeners like you do.
Yeah. So I guess everybody's happy to have me back now.
Hey, Complete Guiders. Do you go by that? This is Christine saying thank you for letting me into your podcast listening ears, even though I wasn't Tim. I also want to say thank you to Tim and Tom, although my thank you to Tom has an asterisk because immediately upon my departure, Tom, if you're listening, when you told Tim behind my back what I had told you in confidence behind his back, you misrepresented what I said, and you caused a beef between Tim and I that now, unfortunately, I have a commensurate beef with you that's probably eternal, but maybe we can get a mediator and talk through what's happened here, because, boy, what a mess. We're all so mad at each other. Can you feel it? Anyway, thanks for letting me solve some problems. Thanks for a couple really nice comments that I saw about my guest hosting. I'm really thrilled to have learned what a podcast is, finally. I'm really excited to have been able to have that space and talk about things I love, like Frasier and archery and unsolicited and solicited advice. Some of my favorite things. Okay, Tim, congratulations on your baby. Tom, congratulations on working so seamlessly with who is now your eternal enemy based on what I mentioned earlier. And thanks, everybody. Happy New Year. Smell you later. Is that the right thing to say? Don't be a stranger, and whatever that means in this context. Okay, bye. Thanks.
Tom, 2021.
Yeah.
The year. Was this a real year? Did this year go super quick?
Yeah. I mean, time's just very strange right now.
Yeah. Look, I had a very good year. My wife and I had a child, and he's great. But other than that, like, what a blah, stupid year this was, right? This was all last year. We were like, this year sucks, but next year we're all gonna really go for it. It's gonna be a great awakening, you know. We're all gonna get out there, and it'll be like a renaissance.
Yeah.
And then it was all the same shit, except just like angrier.
Well, I feel like for a while there in 2021, things were good. Like, people were getting vaccinated and stuff, and like you felt good, you felt safe. But there wasn't enough time to like relearn how to like be around people, at least for me.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't so hot at it before
exactly.
the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, oh God, now I'm starting back from square one all over again. And and now we're back in people listening to this in space stations in the future. We've got the Omicron wave happening now.
Yeah.
Which luckily seems milder, but also like 100 times more contagious. I feel like I'm hearing about a bunch of people catching this without even like going anywhere. It's like I opened up my window.
Yeah, it's coming through the walls. But people don't need to hear about that here. They can hear about that literally everywhere else.
Yeah. Well, but I'm just saying that, I feel like I was just finally getting my social mojo back.
Yeah.
And really, dazzling people when I would see them in social occasions. And now I'm once again gonna forget how to talk to other human beings.
I only did one thing. Like I got vaccinated, then waited a couple weeks. I bought tickets to one thing. I went to it with you, my wife and I, and you and your girlfriend went to a comedy show.
Yeah, John Mulaney.
Yeah, and then to a bar. And that was the one thing I did all year. And then Delta came, and it was just like, okay.
Well, and
back
also,
indoors.
I'm sure you remember that when all of us went into that place, it was like the first time any of us had been anywhere. And, you need to like show proof of vaccination and all these things. But also it was like, a stand-up comedian working on his new material. So very paranoid, of course, about like anybody recording it. So you had to like put your phones in those pouches and stuff. And it was just like this gauntlet of like not remembering how to do anything, having to show like an ID to get a wristband to drink, your vaccine card, and like an ID again to prove, and then your ticket, and then checking your coat, and then also having to put your phone and even if you had like a smartwatch, like an Apple Watch, putting that in a pocket and like closing it and showing them, and then being brought to your table, and then them being like, all right, what do you want to drink? What do you want to eat?
I mean, it was a waitress that said, "Can I take your order?"
The show starts any second now. Hurry up!
No, you really freaked that lady out by being like, "I don't know. Stop yelling
I'll
at me."
take one of everything. Which, and afterwards, when it all came, I was like, I should have been more selective.
Yeah, when the bill came, Tom, that doesn't mean that there weren't things that we should single out as award worthy for this past year, Tom. It's the first annual Complete Guide to Everything Awards for excellence in things.
Yes. In 2021 edition.
2021 edition.
I did go last month to a Broadway show. I saw Hadestown on Broadway.
Oh, how was that? Why wasn't I invited? Why didn't you invite me?
Because it was for my girlfriend's birthday, Tim. You're right. I should have invited you. She was actually very upset that you weren't there.
I know. She was texting me the whole time. She's like, this play would be better if you were here.
Wow. And you were sitting there with your newborn son responding back.
Yeah. It's messed up.
Also, during that same trip, I went to M&M World in Times Square.
Oh, is that the only place you went? You went to like a Broadway show, and beforehand you just went to the M&M store? We
went to dinner beforehand. She actually really wanted to go to Olive Garden in Times Square, but I thought she was kidding. So I got us a reservation at like a nice restaurant. She was kind of like, oh, this is good, but I kind of want to go to Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
But
enough for 2 portions. You would have had to carry all the extra pasta with you because they give you like enough meals, and then you bring that to the theater with you.
Well, probably more accurately, I would have had to, go do number 2 in the toilet during the show. Tim, pasta goes right through me.
Everything goes right through you, Tom. You can't talk about food or anything without you then describing a bowel movement.
But afterwards, we had a little time to kill before the show, so we went to M&M World. That place sucks. What a depressing place that is.
It's just, yeah. What could be, like, what were you expecting?
I don't know, like some kind of activities or something, not just like you can buy M&Ms in, I don't know, hundreds of different like shitty plastic containers.
I mean, I think you set your sights. You got your hopes up a little too much. Did you think you were gonna meet the yellow M&M and he'd be like, "Oh, hello, Tom." You'd be like, "Finally, someone dumber than me I can meet."
Well, Tim, to be honest, I was hoping I was going to meet that green M&M.
I know, Tom, but you were with your girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, but
she'd be like, "I know why you brought me here."
Tim, I've got the green M&M on my celebrity list, on my hall pass list.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
So she would have had to be okay with it.
Yeah. The red one's mean, right? The red one stinks.
Yeah, the red one.
I don't know. I never met the guy.
Yeah, that's the red one. I don't know. None of them were there, Tim. I don't know. The whole place just had the air of like a Caldor that was closing.
Yeah, it's Times Square, Tom.
I don't. I just couldn't believe it. Seemed like it was like a temporary store, but it's been there for a long time now.
It is in the middle of a pandemic.
No, but I'm just saying, like, the way everything was laid out and whatnot. It was just like, and everything was broken. It was just a real shitty place.
I accidentally shoplifted from there 12 years ago.
Oh.
I thought there were free samples, but apparently you were supposed to pay for the bag of pretzel M&Ms, which I took one bite and spit it out. And,
why did you think you could just take a bag of M&Ms?
Because they were new. It was a new flavor, and I don't know. It was a miscommunication.
New flavors is where all the money's made.
I know. It was a miscommunication. I was walking out, and they're like, "Hey, you got to pay for that." And I was like, "I didn't think you had to pay for it." And so I just like ran, or I just like picked up the pace and walked outside.
Wow. Well, the statute of limitations is not up on that, Tim, and I hope one of the M&Ms is listening to this and makes a citizen's arrest. But yeah, so I got to go to like a Broadway show, which was fun. Like, Miss, hey, you know me in the Great White Way. I missed it.
Was the last show you saw before this Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark when we went in like 2013?
No, I wish. What was the last show I saw? Oh, probably Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
I think I saw Harry Potter the year before. Yeah.
Hey, you see them all. Harry Potter, Spider-Man, Hadestown.
Well, and a bunch of stuff's closing nowadays. The Alanis Morissette is closing.
Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah. But anyway, let's not talk about Broadway closures. Let's talk about these awards.
All right. Do you want to go one for one? We've both prepared some awards.
Yeah.
I don't know the awards that you prepared. You don't know the ones I prepared.
That's what makes the award show so fun.
Great. Do you want to go first?
Sure. The Tom Reynolds 2021 award for best movie, Spider-Man: No Way Home, the latest movie I've seen.
You're like a 5-year-old that way.
Yep.
Every time we leave the theater, that was the best movie I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, not only was it the best movie of 2021, I think it was the best movie I've ever seen. Although I will say this, I'm very sick of look, I love these movies. I unabashedly love these Marvel movies. Although Eternals was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But enough with clapping in the theaters. People
were clapping in the theater.
Oh, there was so much clapping, and like,
do they think the Spider-Man can hear them?
Yeah, exactly. Like nobody's there to receive those claps. I'm all for like gasping or like hooting, maybe.
Hooting? No.
I mean,
I
maybe
think
I'm not all for.
It has to be involuntary.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a gasp, if it's a scream, or you're startled or something, that's okay.
Spoiler for Spider-Man No Way Home. If you didn't realize what everybody's suspected for years, the other Spider-Men are in this. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. But like there's a part in this, I won't give away the part, but like somebody literally yelled out like, "Yeah, okay, Andrew," like to Andrew Garfield.
Was he there?
Not to my knowledge. Yeah, I hated that. I also, here's my other thing that I really hate at movies nowadays. This was Thursday night. It wasn't even opening night. It was like preview night of this movie. So like one of the earliest screenings you could possibly go to. I don't think they even had like matinee screenings. There were multiple lines in the movie that were in the trailers that people gave like big laughs to. And it's like, there's no way you're here on the opening night of this movie and you haven't watched the trailer and you're not like, he tells Peter, "Don't call me sir." Shut up, idiots.
You were yelling. Yeah, that was funnier the first time I heard it. You wanted them to change the jokes between the trailer and the movie.
I wouldn't mind it. I would like to see nothing from the trailer in a movie. That would be ideal. But it's like performative laughter at a movie. Get out of town.
Yeah. Tom, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds to me like the people over there at Marvel, the MCU, saw that Spider-Man movie, the animated movie that came out a couple of years ago, and they were like, everybody likes that movie. We should make that movie, but with real people.
Well, a little bit, but like the idea of the Spider-Verse is from comics. Like that's been done a bunch in the comics. So, but yeah, I mean, it certainly didn't hurt.
Yeah, and now they're doing that with every movie now, right? Michael Keaton's going to be in every single DC movie.
Yeah, they just announced that he's going to be. We already knew he was going to be in the Flash movie, but now he's going to be in the Batgirl movie. I think Michael Keaton just realized, like, oh, I can make like more money in one of these than I probably have gotten paid for every movie I've been in.
I'll tell you this much: I don't think it was Michael Keaton's idea. I think they approached him.
Oh
to be
no,
in the
but
movie.
I think he's just like, yeah, great, absolutely. Yeah. You'll give me how much money? I'll be there.
Yeah. Every movie's going to be this now, huh? That's the next step. Where do we go from this once they've scraped the bottom of this barrel?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I'll tell you this. Andrew Garfield.
Like, everybody's like, hey, yeah, Andrew Garfield. Nobody liked those movies.
Nobody liked those
talk
movies.
Crap about those movies.
But Andrew Garfield was a good Spider-Man. I don't think he was necessarily a good Peter Parker, but that was the writing. But he was a good Spider-Man, and he looks like Spider-Man because he's skinny.
Okay, that's enough.
And yeah, I mean, now it seems like they're gonna make more stuff with Andrew Garfield too. Which honestly, it's like this movie's on track to potentially make $2 billion during a pandemic where governments around the world are like, don't go to places where other people are. So I totally get, yeah, fucking make 10 Spider-Man movies a year and just keep doing it until people stop seeing them. Why not?
Because here's why not. They're not going to make any other movies.
They could keep making other movies. I told you, they made this last Duel movie nobody saw. All right, Tim, your turn for an award.
2021 wasn't the easiest for a lot of folks.
Tim, I'm gonna have to start playing the orchestral, the get you off the stage.
They don't do that for the banter before.
They will
I'm the presenter.
if they go too long.
Presenting our next award, Tim. Thank you. 2021 wasn't the easiest for a lot of folks. What with the global pandemic continuing to rage, keeping people separated from their loved ones and destroying the livelihoods of so many, as well as the brutal effects of climate change, already wreaking havoc in a terrifying preview of the years to come.
Who is this
that
for?
Promised to be many times worse. But through it all, these people rose to the occasion and kept us laughing all year long. Here are the nominees for funniest Twitter person.
Oh, you have nominees?
Ellen DeGeneres. Conan O'Brien. That guy Drill or Wint, whatever his name is. Out of context succession. Elon Musk. And the winner is Elon Musk.
Oh, well.
This wasn't even close, Tom.
All right, Tim.
Just a dominant
you
performance.
brought it home, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't know where you were going, but then, yeah, okay. Luckily, you landed on the funniest person.
Who can forget his streak of SNL sketches that he was going to pitch? Baby Shark and Shark Tank merge to form Baby Shark Tank. Irony Man defeats villains using the power of irony. And woke James Bond. 3 solid jokes, 3 in a row, Tom. And then, not to mention all the 69 and 420 jokes, and accusing people of being pedophiles.
You know, it makes me think, like, we should get, they should have, like, the CEO of Nissan, you know, they should have him host SNL. Let's see how funny he is.
Yeah.
We've been looking at all this stuff all wrong.
Hey, the richest guys are the funniest, most talented, and smartest people among us.
Yeah, because they're surrounded by people who are pushing them to be funnier. They aren't just laughing at whatever they say because their livelihood depends on it.
Oh. Tom, Elon Musk, great man.
Yeah, he really is. Hey, let's get him to Mars. Let's send him to Mars all by himself.
Hey, right?
ASAP.
Okay, that's my award, Tom. All those, I think everybody was deserving, but he was most deserving. I do think
who can forget that picture that Ellen took with all those celebrities.
Tom, a timely reference and an important reference. Thank you for making it. I do think the most disheartening thing about 2021, I really think this is the year it like totally tipped, where it's going to be like there for the rest of our lives. There's always just going to be a handful of powerful billionaires who like love attention and who will like somehow amass these armies of people that will like, die for them or kill for them.
Yeah, I
was
was
just
going to
defend them in every way, and it's insane to me that this could happen.
Me and you say like shitty things about people all the time, but anytime we ever talk shit about Elon Musk, we both get messages like, "Hey, what's your problem with Elon?" It's like, what do you care? He doesn't need your help.
He's okay.
You know what? He can see me in the street and fucking take a piss on me and nothing will happen to him. And you know what? I'll go home and feel bad, and he'll go, back to being on a spaceship or whatever.
Yeah. All right, Tom.
He'll go back to his barber and get an even cooler haircut.
I mean, I don't know how you top his cool haircut. But
I saw that haircut and I said, what is this guy, 20 years old? Because he looks like it.
All right, Tom. Next. He's funny. He's young. He's hip.
Yeah.
He knows all the slang.
Uh-huh. He knows cool what 420 and 69 mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me, I wonder if Bill Gates knows that.
I think he knows what 69 means. I think we've learned that. I think his friend Jeff Epstein told him about it.
It's come out in court documents that he had.
Can you testify to whether or not William Gates knows the meaning of 69? Here's my award. Well, I have a tie here. My award,
Okay.
You know what? I have a tie. Most annoying thing you've had to hear about. The first one, which
Most annoying thing you had to hear about?
in 2021, you had to hear about a lot. My number one, or the one you already mentioned, billionaires in space.
Ooh, yeah.
We had to keep hearing about this. And meanwhile, they weren't even like, I mean, they were more in space than me or you have ever been, but they weren't in orbit or anything. Then they were in space for like as long as, a roller coaster ride. Don't get me wrong. I would love to do it. If I was going to say, if Elon Musk called me tomorrow and said, hey, we want to send you up, I probably wouldn't, because I'd be like, oh, you were listening to this recent episode
and you'll get off scot-free if anything happens to me.
Yeah.
There will be no repercussions if you blow me up in a rocket on purpose.
You'll tweet a gif of my rocket exploding and be like, oh, well, I guess I'll just have to 420 my 69.
P.S. He was a pedophile.
Looks like I just 96 this pedophile. But the other thing I had tied for it, NFTs.
Ooh, yeah.
And now look, we did episodes about both of these things, but we're not part of the lamestream media. We're part of the counterculture.
And we are part of the counterculture, Tom, and we were ahead of the curve. We did an NFT episode in 2020, I think. Not even 2021.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, we should have bought NFTs.
Yeah. So it's like pictures of monkeys now? Is that what it is?
The Bored Ape Yacht Club is one of the most popular NFTs out there.
This is stupid.
Yeah, it's just like procedurally generated art,
But not even art.
But not like really art, like art the same way, customizing your character in a video game is art.
Wait, what was the other thing? Oh, billionaires.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sick of it. Also, like they put they sent Michael Strahan up into orbit or not into orbit.
Yeah, did anybody else even fit inside that capsule with him?
Oh, come on, Tom.
Well, he's a big guy. I bet when he was like, oh, I'm going to take off my seatbelt and float around, everybody else was getting kicked in the head.
But he's like the host of a news show. I wouldn't call him a journalist, but it's just like they breathlessly covered that on a news program. Like, oh my God, like the richest man in the world, or who was it? Who put him up there? Bezos or Musk?
I think Bezos put him up there.
Bezos. Like, they got...
Well, did you hear about apparently Bezos offered it to Tom Hanks, but Tom Hanks would have had to pay his own way? And he was like, no.
Really?
Yeah. Because I guess they offered it to him, and it sounds like when they offered it to me, he was like, oh, yeah, cool. Like, I think it was when Shatner went up. They asked Tom Hanks first, and he was in Apollo 13, of course. And he was like, oh, yeah. And they were like, okay, cool. It's $11 million. And he was like, look, I'm Tom Hanks. I'm doing well, but I'm not doing like, below $20 million. I think it might have been more. It might have been like 20 million on, an afternoon of fun.
I mean, I bet he could, but I still think the amount of hours or the amount of time that Tom Hanks logged in the Vomit Comet makes him more of an astronaut than Bezos or Musk.
Yeah. Well, I think probably he was like, oh, I've experienced weightlessness. Like if you want to send me up there for free. Did you watch this most recent SNL with Paul Rudd?
I did. The dystopian one?
Yeah, wasn't that so weird? And wasn't it so weird that Tom Hanks was there? And I think he was entirely honest, where he said, well, they canceled the show, but I didn't fly here from LA to not be on the show.
Also, I mean, he's just like, the COVID ambassador now, right? Like
Yeah.
anytime anything happens, like it was reassuring to be like, oh, this is the first guy that we knew. It's nice to
Yeah.
have him guiding us through this. That he has a sense of humor about this.
Right. In an otherwise completely empty, weird studio.
Yes. All right. Next award, Tom.
Okay. You have another speech prepared?
It's just it's what you do when you give out an award. You have a little patter beforehand. 2 slices of bread with some stuff in between, maybe slathered in some goop. Those are the only rules. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, these nominees prove that there can be genius and simplicity. And when it really comes down to it, there's only one rule. It's got to be delicious. Here are the nominees for Best Sandwich.
Oh, this is
You look
rigged.
very upset. Here are the nominees for Best Sandwich. Ham and cheese on wheat bread with mustard.
Well, come on, you're sandbagging.
The grilled mac and cheese sandwich from Panera Bread.
I
New for
was
2021.
made aware of that.
The Timbo. Applause, applause, applause. The spicy tofu banh mi from Meckelberg's in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Tuna fish.
Just a tuna fish sandwich with nothing else? Not even like a tuna melt?
And the winner is... no surprise here, the Timbo. Tom, I guess people just love the combination of potato bread, 2 types of cheese, caramelized onions, pickled jalapenos, and spicy mustard. It's the taste sensation that's sweeping the nation.
The world, you could even say.
Yeah.
I don't know if people around the world can necessarily... I guess those are pretty simple ingredients.
I don't know. I feel like people in the UK had difficulty sourcing the cheese that this called for.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to get American cheese outside of America because nobody wants it.
Yeah.
Which is
It's
understandable.
customizable. Yeah.
You know, if you've got the option of any cheese, I was reading actually a thing this week. It was like one of those BuzzFeed articles where they just rip off a Reddit post, and it was like stuff that is cheap in other countries, like in the poster's country, but is like expensive everywhere. I forget what country it was. Maybe it was Cyprus, and they were talking about halloumi and how cheap halloumi is in Cyprus. I would like to have a Timbo with halloumi.
Ooh, I mean, that would add, halloumi doesn't really melt.
Yeah, but you could have it grilled on there.
Ooh.
Maybe you would call it a Talimbo. A halloum Tim.
Well, Tom, I can promise you there'll be similar innovations coming in 2022.
Oh, you're going to come out with a new sandwich. Yeah.
I'm going to iterate on the Timbo. You'll be privy to the Timbo 2.0, but there will also be others. Look, an award was bestowed upon the sandwich. It's an award-winning sandwich. My first time out, Tom.
Oh,
is
this your award speech? Did I?
Yeah. How? Why would I stop there, Tom?
Mm-hmm.
I can. The sky's the limit.
Yeah.
I'm an acclaimed sandwich monger, and I take that seriously.
Yeah. I mean, how could you not when upwards of 10 people have tried this sandwich and said they liked it?
How many people tried a sandwich that you created? I
don't create sandwiches, Tim. I create movements.
Bowel movements.
Hey, it still counts. I'm going to give out my final award here.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out which one to do here. All right. Best news.
News.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alien stuff. UFO stuff becoming more mainstream.
Do you feel like we are getting the true story Or do you feel that maybe this is all the government obfuscating things that they're doing? Right? Because that's what Area 51, that whole thing was, right? Where
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
like-
I mean, Area 51, regardless of UFO rumors, is like acknowledged as a U.S. government test, where they run test flights out of.
Right. Can you see that, like, can you see a world where it's possible where, you know, these fighter pilots are seeing this wild stuff and the government's like, shit, like, we're developing some stuff. We have to be like, we don't know what it is. It's probably aliens, though.
Could you see a possibility where these fighter pilots are coming back to the aircraft carrier and going, ooh, just saw some wild stuff up there? No, I don't think so, because I saw like a good argument against that from a Navy person. Well, actually, it was one of the Navy pilots who spotted this stuff, and he was just like, "That's not how the government works. Like, that's not how like test flights work. They aren't like, hey, let's do a test flight and let's like buzz an aircraft carrier and see if they attack us." It's just not the way it works. I think I believe more and more that the government might not, like, you know, Roswell and all that stuff might not have been anything. That might have just been, you know, stories blown out of proportion, and that there might just be 70 plus years of the government pilots and stuff just seeing weird shit, and it just never being investigated because it's just never taken seriously. And even now, you know, some bill just got through the Senate to like appropriate more money to investigate this stuff. And I think it legitimately is just people seeing these things and just being like, well, what the fuck am I going to do? Am I going to call up my boss and be like, hey, I think aliens are here? No, I'm not going to do that. And I think some of this stuff could just be like autonomous drones that have been sent here to, you know, the same way we send drones to other planets. And like they might come here, do a scan for 5 minutes, be like, this planet's boring as shit. Everybody down here is an idiot, and they zip off, and that's it. And how would we follow that up? Like, we can't shoot these things down or anything.
I can't believe how much time I've given you to talk about this over this past year.
That's what I'm saying, Tim. You're part of the problem. You should be a higher up in the Navy.
Yeah. No, I think that is cool news. I just think it's very funny that, like, beyond you and like people who like cared about fringe stuff, watch like weird documentaries on YouTube and Amazon Prime about this stuff, and then it finally makes the cover of the New York Times, and you guys are still the only people that care about it.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I really think that there is a distinct possibility of just like, yeah, we don't know what that is. Maybe we can't even wrap our heads around it, even if somebody tried to explain it to us, and just kind of like, well, what are you going to do? You know, when you know, a human being steps on an anthill, the ants don't all have a meeting and say like, well, what are we going to do about these humans? So maybe it'll just always be that, you know, just like, yeah, I don't know, weird shit happens sometimes and we can't really understand it.
Yeah. I'm definitely more concerned about the stuff that could potentially affect me that like we can identify and do something about.
I do think it's real dumb too, to go back to billionaires in space, like Elon Musk's whole thing. Like, we have to get to, you know, we have to get to Mars because of climate change on Earth. And it's like, we have to, I would agree with, we have to like get to Mars in case like a huge asteroid hits the Earth and just everything's destroyed. But no matter how bad climate change gets, it's not going to be worse than the climate on Mars. Like, you're like,
yeah, that's true.
Like, Elon Musk, you can still just make a bubble that you live in on Earth, no matter how bad. Even the worst predictions aren't like, Well, in 10 years, it might be 300 degrees on Earth.
Yeah. Also, like, even if it was like an asteroid was coming, like, if it's gonna wipe out the human race, it's like, oh no, the human race must live on after trashing a planet or whatever. Like, oh, what will the universe do without us?
I kind of agree with you. I kind of don't really give a shit about anything after I die, to be honest with you. And I think I'm not alone in that feeling. I think that's part of what's got us into this problem.
Yeah, I think so, Tom. My final award.
Mm-hmm.
Now here to present the final award of the night. Tim.
Oh, I have one more award after this.
Oh, Tim's final award of the night. Here's Tim. Thank you. We live in confusing times.
Fuck.
And even if you're an adult of above average intelligence and you're still young enough that everyone generally thinks you're cool, sometimes there are things that you hear people talking about and you're not really sure exactly what's going on. It doesn't mean that you're dumb or out of touch. It's probably just that everybody else doesn't really understand it either, and they think talking about it makes them sound smart or cool. Here are the nominees for Thing I Don't Really Understand. Web 3. Cottagecore. Chugi. NFTs. iKits.
iKiss?
iKits.
iKits?
EYEKITS.
Oh, I've never even heard of that.
And the winner is really all of them, but mostly Web 3.
Oh, or just makeup for eyes?
I think. But why are they called iKits?
Yeah.
They're always like, oh, this person has an iKit. It's like, what?
Who's always like that?
The people that I hear that confuse me. Didn't you hear the intro?
So all that stuff wins. Okay.
Yeah. Tom, do I need to care about Web 3 right now?
No.
Okay. That's all I want to know. It's just like, hey, the blockchain and NFTs are gonna like be all what the internet is now, right? Or something.
Yeah, I mean, Web 2.0 was like JavaScript. So I don't know. It's like things will get better, but I mean, there's no indication that Web 3 will mean things will get better. And also the problem with Web 3 is like the promise of Web 3 is that things will become decentralized. And that doesn't solve any of our current problems as far as I'm concerned. Well, like Twitter's like, oh, this will solve the problem of like us having to ban accounts. It's like, well, I don't think that's a problem. I think there should be somebody in charge of making sure awful things aren't out there. And also, but everybody pushing Web 3 are, billionaires and venture capitalists. Right. So they're not the real, like, oh, we want things to be decentralized, right? We want things to be decentralized under us.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's all bad. Everything's bad.
Oh, it's all bad. I mean, things aren't going to get any better.
Great.
I just want to quickly give out my, I forgot about this, my 2021 award for biggest blunder.
Uh-oh.
That damn ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal.
Oh, yeah.
And then remember, it got out and then it got stuck again? Poof. What a blunder.
That ship had a bad year.
Oh, boy, that ship's probably... Come New Year's Eve, that ship's going to be knocking more than a few back and going, and its friends will be reassuring it, its friends being other ships.
Yeah.
Hey, 2022 will be better. You probably won't get stuck in another canal. Where are the odds? I don't know. Maybe the ship was built in a way that, makes it easy to get stuck in canals.
Yeah.
So maybe the odds are good. Maybe they were like, we'll put one engine in the front and one in the back, but on different sides, so the ship always goes diagonal.
I don't know what happened, Tom, but that ship sure had egg on its hull.
It sure did. Also, this whole time I thought it was stuck in the Panama Canal. It was stuck in the Suez Canal.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter.
I knew it was the Suez Canal, but in my head, I was just like, oh, yeah, down in Panama.
Right. Same here. And it's like, it didn't really matter. It's not like,
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
fine.
it was in the Panama Canal. I could have done something.
Yeah. Jurisdiction over it.
Yeah. Excuse me for coughing.
Tom, maybe we should do the plugs and then get our predictions for 2022.
Sounds good.
Okay.
If you like the show, TCGTE.com to find out more. Patreon.com/complete guide for our Patreon. Hey, this week, you can catch the last of our holiday movie extravaganza. We're covering the Christmas classic, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation 2, Eddie's Island Adventure.
It's what everybody wants.
It's it's the big movie. A movie most people are not aware of exists. But
With good reason.
Christmas Vacation 2, Eddie's Island Adventure. We're covering that, and boy howdy, this was a real dog shit movie that I'd have a hard time even calling it a movie. But anyway, patreon.com/complete guide.
I'm so angry about it.
You can listen to me and Tim be angry about this made for TV movie. Follow us on Twitter at Complete Guide. Follow us on Instagram at TCGTE. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at Your Pal Tim.
Check out our subreddit. It's at TCGTE on Reddit. And check out our go to TCGTE.com to get a link to our Discord. I don't know how to get there otherwise, but
Yeah, you download the app.
yeah, you download the app, etc., etc.
Etc. All right.
Prediction time.
Tom. Predictions. I have 2 predictions. How many predictions do you have?
I actually don't have that many predictions, but I have predictions from somebody else.
Who?
Somebody in the know, let's say.
Okay. Here's my first prediction.
Mm-hmm.
Carbonated milkshakes.
Oh.
Think about it, Tom.
Yeah.
I think less young people are drinking, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I think people are going to lean a little harder into sweets.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the pandemic's about to be over in a couple of weeks, so people are going to start going wild, being out there and wanting to be like, hey, let's party, but we're not going to drink. So we're not going to drink alcohol. We should drink milkshakes. Combine it with the seltzer craze of the last couple of years. Carbonated milkshakes.
All right. So not alcoholic or alcoholic?
I think eventually they'll be alcoholic, but I think it'll be a fun treat for teetotalers as well.
Yeah. And Gen Z loves Daniel Plainview.
It's true.
And so they're all about drinking other people's milkshakes.
From that old movie.
Yeah, from that movie from when they were babies.
You got a prediction? Oh,
Tim,
who's the...
I'll tell you who's. I got some predictions from Judy Heavenly. She is the psychic for the National Enquirer that does their predictions. I don't know if these are the National Enquirer predictions, but she had about on
Have
her
you
web.
seen the cover of the National Enquirer lately?
No.
It's like the vaccine will kill you.
That makes sense.
Government covering up 1.5 million vaccine deaths.
The national Judy Heavenly, she's got like 200 predictions, and then like points to like last year she predicted, and it was like, I don't know, a handful of things that are just vague predictions. One of her predictions this year is U.S. federal agencies go paperless.
All right.
And then a separate prediction: important changes in U.S. government and IRS.
So these aren't necessarily swinging for the fences, exactly.
Sad goodbyes to Barbara Walters, Jimmy Carter, Betty White, Pope Benedict XVI, Tony Bennett, and a foreign leader. So it's like 5 people who are close to 100 years old.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
If not 100 years old, and then a foreign leader, which could be any of thousands of people.
She's talking about the queen. Yeah, I think she's worried about
no,
like,
there were
getting
queen
murdered by the
specific
crown.
predictions.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that were
Okay.
separate. Yeah, and then a new law sparks a boom for the $1 billion marijuana-linked CBD industry. I don't know what law could spark more CBD shit than there already is. I don't know. And then she also said Amazon will push legalization of weed at the government level, declassifying marijuana as a Schedule 1 drug. I don't know why Amazon would do that.
because Tom, they hold all the power. Jeff,
They do.
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna that was a lot. I'm not even gonna give my other one. 'Cause
She
I don't
also
think
she predicted an electrical power outage in New York City.
well, that's terrifying, Tom.
Yeah, well, we'll see if that happens.
How are we gonna keep our carbonated milkshakes frozen?
How are we going to keep them carbonated?
I don't know how carbonation process works.
You need motors, Tim. You need something constantly
Well, it'll be
carbonating
gas
it.
powedded. I'll have a
Making the
gas powered
bubble.
carbonation machine.
You said gas powered, but then you mimed pedaling something.
No, I mind pulling
Pulling
on
a
a-
gas
on a-
engine.
on a lawnmower. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Those are Judy Heavenly's predictions.
Well, mundane, macabre, and terrifying, alternately. Tom,
Mm-hmm.
thank you very much for being a good friend in 2021.
Hey, same to you, buddy.
And I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut off all contact with you
What? Wait,
in the new year.
Why?
I'm doing a new thing. I'm trying a new direction. Starting fresh.
It's
My family and
tough,
I have
but I
decided we're
understand.
gonna have to cut ties with toxic presence in our life. So
Well, you know what? I'll confront your wife about this. I have a pretty good idea of her routines. I'll find her and talk to her about it.
Jesus.
Timmy, this doesn't sound like a problem that a little yelling wouldn't fix.
Throwing a glass of wine in a young woman's face.
All right. Well, hey, happy 2022 to our listeners.
See you next year. Right?
Yeah.
That was a headgum podcast.